Hey, on this episode of Old School Monster Life, we're putting a new body on Earthquake. New paint, new graphics. There's been a couple other trucks that have come through and have decided to do black dent side bodies with red accents, with flames. So we're going to change it up a little bit. It's still going to be a black dent side, but the paint job is definitely going to be something eye-catching and different. Over my shoulder here you can see the new front fenders. The wheel wells have been opened up 8 inches, so hopefully I'll have more tire clearance and they won't beat up the fenders near as bad. But this won't air until after the official reveal, so I'm just going to let you guys in on what happens as it happens. Right now I got my front fenders black. I'm working on the hood. I'll show you that here in a second. And yeah, it's going to be cool. We're here in the new paint shop, which is the old shop, and it's a mess because I've been working in here and this is not the ideal conditions for painting, but I'm just doing primer right now and I don't really care about a sterile environment until I go to shoot color and then clear, because I still have to literally block this thing till I'm blue in the face and can't lift my arms. Because when I sanded down the new hood for Earthquake, I realized that the very nice hood that I had was actually full of hail dings. So if you look, the hood kind of looks like a spotted cow because that's how much filler it took to make it flat. Now, none of that is very deep, but it is extensive because lots of frozen balls of ice hit it. So it's as straight as I dare. It's going to be a lot flatter when I get the primer on it and block it out a few times. But the focal point to the new paint job will be on the hood and the fenders and the doors. So it's got to look pretty good. But hey, we're back. Got the hood colored and cleared yesterday. So it ain't perfect, but it's close enough. And I can hardly wait to start laying graphics down on it. After our wet sand to get all the dirt specks and the orange peel out of this paint, I can start taping out the graphics on the entire front clip now. But before I get started on that, I am going to take the doors off the truck and bring them in here because the new graphics actually stretch back to the doors. So I'm going to get them fixed and painted, and then I'm going to have to mock up some sort of frame to put all of the pieces together in here off of the truck so I can reach them, but so all the graphics line up when I put it all back on the truck. So that's going to be a challenge. I guess I'm going to build some sort of 2x4 frame to bolt all my panels to in here so I can paint them where I can reach them and see them, rather than bolt everything back to the truck and try to do it, 9 feet in the air. So that's where we're at today, and hopefully I'll get the doors in here and we'll get cracking on them. Just wanted to point out the wonderful quality job that was done on this truck. It appears as if they actually masked off the interior door panel to spray the inside of the door. I have red and white, giant chunks of paint flaked off here. There's red and white here, but it was burgundy at one point. So they did some half-assed, half-hearted paint job twice on this thing, and now I'm torn because I didn't want to have to jam everything because it's a similar color. I'm going back with black. So do I strip it down and do it the right way, or do I just let it ride because it's a monster truck and hardly anybody's ever going to see the door open? Here's the thing about a truck. If you're going to have a big mud truck, build it yourself. If you're this particular in what you do and how you want things done, just build it yourself. because nobody else is going to care like you about building a mud truck. This is something that never would have happened, even on a mud truck, if I was painting it or building it to begin with. The engineering on this truck was so god-awful, I just can't even put it into words. And every time I take apart something new, I'm blown away at the level of I don't care that I saw that was put into this truck when it was built the first time. You know, it was a cool truck when I got it, but it was just a big truck. There was nothing really right about it. And every time I wrench on this thing, it's frustrating that I'll find another breadcrumb that the original builder left me that's just a disaster. He never took care of it. He threw it together. He didn't know what he was doing. And now I'm stuck with it. The chassis and everything I just couldn't fix. I had to tear it all out and start over, and now I'm doing that with the body. I hope after all this is done that all of the half-assed nothing, I don't care, it's just a mud truck attitude that was put into this thing originally is gone, because I care about every single bolt and screw I put into that truck. I care about every weld that I do. And it's clear to me that the original builder of that truck didn't. Just had no clue or no care. And it's frustrating. But Earthquake will live again. It'll be better than ever. Every time I work on this truck, it gets exponentially better. So hopefully this year, I'm done with the dumb braking. I'm done with the paint falling off of it, with Bondo cracking out of it. I hope I'm just done. And it's not that I won't continue to work on it or I'm getting frustrated with working on it all the time. It's a monster truck. I work on it all the time. I am tired of redoing horrible craftsmanship that was done to the truck. So if you're going to build one, I don't care what the guy tells you he spent on parts. I don't care what the guy says is in the truck or how well it did or how fast it was. You can get away with some horrible engineering if you apply enough horsepower, and that's what this guy did. It's just wrong. Every bit of it was wrong. The bodywork was wrong. The fabrication was wrong. The engineering was wrong. There was nothing right about the truck. I could have spent a third of the money that I have so far building this truck from scratch than I have redoing all of his horrible work. I'm ranting. Anyway, we're going to get after it and get the door straight. 1 paint job, 2 paint jobs, 3 paint jobs. Can't imagine why we have adhesion problems on the paint and it keeps flaking off in big sections. 1 paint job per vehicle. That's it. Hey everyone, we're back. Got all of the panels that I can possibly unbolt from the truck fixed and painted. They're behind me. Right now we're down to laying the graphics down, but I don't have enough money to do that just yet, so I'm going to go out back today, cut the quarter panels off of my parts truck, and start building the new quarter panels for Earthquake. But what we have right now is the doors fixed and painted, and there's no more Bridget on the passenger door, there's no more Joe on the driver's door. Fenders were done, now the hood's fixed and painted, all the hail damage for the most part's fixed. So we're moving right along. Still have more work to do. I missed out on an opportunity to do an exhibition crush this weekend because my truck's apart. The funny thing is, the guy that was scheduled to do it, his truck's apart. I suggested a couple other teams to go and do the exhibition, and their trucks are apart, so off season is in full swing for the old school guys. We're just trying to get ready for the season, doing what we can. But hopefully I will have this done by May, and that way I could possibly get a few practice gigs in ahead of time before the Bigfoot open house, which is our first major event for the year, and the official unveiling for the truck. So I'll keep working, keep staying tuned, and we'll keep going. We're making progress, but it's slow. I got the old quarters cut off, and I got one of the new quarters put on, and all of the braces are welded onto the back, so it's pretty rigid. It's where it's got to be. This morning I got some pictures, and it kind of looked like Silence of the Lambs Monster Truck Edition, because I peeled the skin off of my truck. Here, check it out. Old guy's looking kind of tragic at the moment. Go around the other side. Here's the new quarter. It's tacked in place, braces are there, big wide wheel opening. I'm pretty pleased with that. But this morning, it all looked like this. Old guy's pretty tragic looking. But we're making omelets, so we got to break some eggs. So far I like what I see with it going back together, and I will continue on welding the quarters on. We'll do the mud work, and then I can paint the back half of the truck, and then I can do the graphics on the front half, fold it all together, and the body is done. More progress. We got the new quarters hung, and all of the metalwork is done on Earthquake. So all I have now is a mud fest, mud being body filler. I get everything straight, and I can paint the cab, the door jambs, and the quarters. And as soon as I paint the graphics on the new sheet metal for the front, I can put it all back together and I'm done. But I just wanted to show you the quarters, how they turned out. Like I said, no mud work done, but you can kind of see how they're going to look. I'm pretty happy with it. And then I got the other side also. And there's the other side. And while I was at it, I filled the gas filler neck from when it was a pickup truck, and then got rid of all the chrome down the middle. So it's just going to be smooth all the way down. I also got rid of that filler neck from when that bedside was on a 79 Ford. But yeah, we're getting there. I'm going to put this away because it's threatening rain and I don't want my bare metal getting wet. But I will put the truck away and then start working on the mud work tomorrow. Good morning. It is April 29th right now. It's the end of the All Ford weekend. What I mean by that is all the stoners have 420, all the Ford guys have the end of the month, 427, 428, 429, and 430. Get it? Anyway, Old School World is trying to get ready for the season, and I had a couple jobs to help out a couple other teams, so here we are. High Roller's back home. He upgraded the engine this year. He's running much bigger aluminum heads, so the headers I built for it when I built the truck originally, they don't fit anymore, so he wanted me to make another set of headers. He had a set, but they don't fit the truck because of where I put the engine in it, so basically all I had to do was modify an existing set of headers and just change 2 of the tubes around so they fit the truck. But I'll show you real quick. New headers. Now, the steering linkage was in the way, that brake fitting was in the way, and on the other side the shock was in the way. On this side, see all the gap between the header tubes and the frame? That's because Fords don't normally center their engines in the truck. They're always to the passenger side a little bit. Well, all the header companies know this, and they make do. You know, the driver's side header sticks out a little further. This engine is centered in the truck. I didn't have the AC box to deal with, and I didn't have the brake booster to deal with. Well, I had a brake booster, but since I sunk it down, the engine is down into the frame a lot further, it was not in my way, so I was able to center the engine up. But anyway, that extra room allowed me to snake the front tube that was in the way of everything behind the header. So instead of that tube coming out this way, now it goes up underneath and down that way. And everything fits. And we don't have to worry about steering linkage, we don't have to change nothing there, we don't have to change the power steering, it just all fits. Now on the other side, remember what I said about the engine being centered. Since I drug it to the driver's side, this header is real tight to the frame. So I wound up having to move that shock forward about an inch and a half. So the shock mount would clear the header tube that I changed. And again, I just changed this tube here just to fit the truck. But they're in there and they fit. And that was the weekend's project. Now over here I have something else that I'm working on, and that is the spare deuce axles that I traded off to a friend of mine that have been sitting here for 2 years. Mark Wheeler is sending somebody to pick these up, so I have to get these de-braked for them, meaning take the brakes off of the outside. If Mark Wheeler sounds familiar, that's because he is the guy that built Terraduster back in the day, and what he wants to do with these axles is build another fun truck to bop around off-road with, like the original Terraduster was. So I'm going to help him out. Sold him the axles. Don't worry, my friend's getting the money for them, so I'm not just pocketing the money. But Mark is paying me to take the brakes off for him, so I got to do that today, and then get cracking on Earthquake and get the driver's side quarter panel finished up so I can paint that this week. Because right now I have paint and primer, thanks to AJ Dial came by and bought my old hood. So now I have the money to get materials to continue on with Earthquake. So super busy, but we're trying to get it all done. We only got, I don't know, 4 weeks to the open house, so we're cramming trying to get it all done. My truck's still in pieces. High roller's a lot closer now, but you know, there's a lot of trucks out there that just aren't ready yet. But we'll keep you posted. Here we are, we're getting close to spraying the rest of the truck. We have the fenders, the hood, the doors done. You can see behind me I have everything prepped and ready to go to shoot primer on the bedsides and the cab. I wasn't going to paint the roof because I just did that a couple years ago, but I found some stuff I didn't like, so I'm going to paint the roof. But as soon as I wipe this down with some surface prep, I can start laying down some primer. Hopefully in the next couple days. Today is Friday, May 3rd. I want to block this coat of primer out tomorrow morning and lay the second coat down. And then maybe Sunday it's supposed to be decent weather, so I can block the last coat out and lay my color and clear on Sunday. And then all I have to do is put it back together. The truck's painted, it's black, and then after that, lay the graphics on the front end. I have to get the vinyl cut for the back half of the truck, but we're really close. Looks like we're actually going to make it for the Bigfoot open house. I was really worried there for a little bit, but it's coming together. I've got some really good friends help me out with some quickie jobs that I could knock out in a couple hours, and some friends at O'Reilly's that cut me deals on some supplies. So yeah, we're moving right along. I'm pretty confident now. So here we go. Another update. Earthquake is now black All of the bodywork and paint is done. All of the base color is done. The whole truck is black, and I can start reassembling the truck. Once I get all of the panels back on the truck, I can start laying out the graphics. It was a long day. We're supposed to get rain tomorrow, so I wanted to hurry up and get everything done today. I did it. It looks pretty decent. There's a couple rough spots, but it is what it is. It's a monster truck. It's going to get beat up, so I didn't try to make it absolutely flawless, but it turned out pretty decent. There's my buddy. Big wide wheel openings. So it's coming right along. All I have to do now is finish it and get the tractor legal. Today is May 5th, and I have till I have till May 30th to get the tractor legal and my truck done, because June 1st I have to be at Bigfoot, and that'll be our first event for the year. Pretty excited. Just figured I'd give you another update. It is May 16th. Anyway, second weekend in May. Last week my father passed away, so we took some time off from working on the truck to go down to Florida and kind of help my mom out with some things. So on the way home, some of my dad's tools I brought with me. These are the tools that my dad taught me how to work on stuff with. Some of them were my grandfather's, some of them my father bought, but I worked with this stuff since I was a little kid. I mean, like 5 years old, little kid. And I'm proud to have them in my shop now. So I'll just give you a quick little tour of some of the new stuff that we got. This is my dad's drill press. It's an older South Bend drill press. He got it at an auction years ago. I think I was 8 when he got that. The mill actually came from my father also. He bought that for himself recently, and I say recently, in the past 10 years, I think. But he wasn't using it, so he said I could come get it. So I did. And I've been using that ever since. That's one of my favorite tools. But this is the thing that my dad would not let go. It's my grandfather's lathe. And it's an older lathe, but it has a quick change transmission. It's got modern tooling with it, and it's just cool. And my grandfather's machinist toolbox, yeah, that's made out of wood, but that's a real one from back in the day. And I still have some of my grandfather's calipers and dividers and indicators. So this is a very special machine to me. And even on my dad's deathbed, I asked him about the lathe, if I could still have it, and he said, yes, but I'm not dead yet. So he would not let go of it until he was gone. And I'm sure towards the end there, he was just saying it to be a smart ass, but that's Dad. So I'm proud to have this stuff in my shop now. We have been working on the truck. I did get it painted and I got it put back together, but it's just a blank body. You know, I have not done any kind of graphics or lettering, and I'm walking out towards the end of the bay, so I'm trying not to fall on my face, which is why I'm looking down. But the truck is all together and it is all black. Today we're going to start taping out flames, and there's going to be lots of them. So it's going to be cool. I'm not doing the original plan that I had that took 3 days to paint because I just don't have the time, I don't have the money, and that's just the way it is. All the vinyl lettering and graphics have been ordered, so I'm just waiting for my sign guy to call me and say to come pick them up. But today we're hopefully going to get the flames done on the truck, and they'll be painted on. And I will show you what they look like after it's done. But that's where we're at right now. It's kind of a bittersweet time for shaker racing. It is what it is. We're going to keep moving forward and trying to make Dad proud. Welcome back. It is a nasty, miserable, drizzly day here in Missouri. It is May 29th. We have 2 days left until we leave for the Bigfoot open house. The truck is done. Built a press that actually clamps onto the front axle so I can bend my bent kingpin straight again. Fixed my jack. Got the truck painted. All the new graphics are on it. And we're ready to go. It's actually early, which is odd, but it's a good thing because I am sick as a dog, if you can't hear it. But let me show you what it looks like. There is the new flame job. And it goes all the way down the doors now. Let me see if I can get a little bit closer. I'm really happy about that graphic. It's to bring awareness to 22 veterans that commit suicide every day with PTSD and depression. And the new earthquake is now solely over the wheel wells. I got my wheel wells opened up. No more fender flares to break apart. Everything is cleaned up and ready to go. The bent wheel is straight. Down the other side, new engine graphics. So, you know, everybody that says, what kind of engine do you have? Yeah, just read. Anyway, so there's the truck. We are ready to go. Now that the truck is where it needs to be, we are going to, try not to fall on my butt here, we are going to focus on support equipment, meaning the tractor, the hauler that pulls everything, the trailer. I want to get an enclosed trailer. And I started building a pit cart so I can just load it in the trailer when I get one. And tools, spare parts, things I'll need at the track will all be in one spot. You just wheel it out to where we're working and we're done. But I'll show you that here in a little bit. But it's been a rough couple weeks and it's been a rough couple days just because I'm dealing with this head cold. But we're going to be ready for Bigfoot and it should be a lot of fun. Hey, we're in the paint shop now, which is kind of doubling as my catch-all everything shop. But we're working on the pit cart, and what that is basically just a wheeled cart with all my tools, a few supplies, and whatever I need at the track when I'm doing a show. You know, I can just wheel that out and work on the truck and then get back to racing. Everybody knows I'm poor and I can't really afford to do this, so when we moved into the house out back, there was a big 8-foot long gardening table made out of angle iron. I'm not a gardener. I kill everything I try to plant. But I do like steel, so I cut the table apart and now I have 32 feet of 2x2 angle iron, which I can use a lot more than I can use a giant metal table in the backyard. So here's my angle iron that I cut out of that table, and this here is the beginning of a pit cart. That's an old rubber tire wagon that you get at Harbor Freight, but that one was left on the property when we got the place, so I'm using it. And I bought a toolbox, and there's my welder. Nothing's really fancy because I don't want to have a lot of expensive snap-on tools on my truck because everybody and their grandmother's going to be walking past it. So if something does get stolen, well, I hope it doesn't happen. It won't hurt as much if it's $200 to replace a welder instead of, $1,000. But as we go, I'll keep you posted on this pit cart, because if it turns out the way I think it will, it's going to be pretty cool.